Hello and welcome. Chris from Missouri here, bringing you another video about vintage baseball cards. This video, I'm going to show you a few cards toward the end, and I'm going to talk to you at the end about Strongsville, Ohio, which is a card show coming up. But this past week, I had the privilege of taking my mom on vacation. I also got to go with my wife and my daughter, and we decided we were going to go back to where I was born. And I had some questions that I wanted answers to, and tie up a few things with some family stuff. And that's why I really was excited that my mom was going to go along. And she hadn't been, nor I had been back to Eastern Kentucky for over 30 years. And that's where I was born, and that's where I lived the first portion of my life. And I had some memories there that I wanted to kind of tie together and see if I was, ask some questions. For instance, my name is spelled, last name is Damron, but my dad's name is Dameron. And I wanted to get that kind of stuff answered and why my family didn't come back very much. So I reached out to an aunt of mine, and she's not really, she's an aunt, but she's more like a cousin because I'm 4 or 5 years older than her. And I've seen her in the last few years because she's been up to Missouri to visit us. And I was so glad to be able to go back and spend a couple of days with her. As a matter of fact, she brought a couple of my aunts that I hadn't seen for over 30 years up to our cabin. And my wife and my daughter, they were gonna go on these hikes, which they did every day in the mountains, and they had a wonderful time and came back with some pictures. And they also dragged my fat butt out a couple times to go. And when we were in Pikeville, Kentucky, my aunts came up to the cabin, and we ate and discussed, life and how things were. And then the next day, my Aunt Melissa took my mom and I out so I could revisit some of the places that I had remembered. And it was amazing. And I kind of, some of you that might know my story, I kind of expected it to be, kind of rougher than what it was, and brought back some not so fond memories. But no, everything it brought back, it was great, and I had a wonderful time with her. And so after 3 days, we left there, and we went to Red River Gorge. Now, my mom has a sister that lives at Red River Gorge, which is only about 40 minutes or an hour. Well, it's an hour and a half away from Pikeville, but anyway, we went to have lunch with her as well and meet up with them, and we see them quite often. They're in Missouri quite a bit. But I also got to see my cousin Troy and his wife Sammy, who are both educators, and they are both adopted parents of two kids. And I believe the kids are from China, but I could mess this up. But they got two adopted kids. One is this beautiful I think she's 17. She's just gorgeous, and her name's Carson. And Carson's a super intelligent. She's got over a 4.0 GPA, and probably going to be her class valedictorian. And just love visiting with her. And then she has a younger brother, Cam, and his name's Garrett, but they call him Cam, and I'm going to call him Cam too because he's my new favorite best friend. I gave him a Chris from Missouri hat, and this kid, his 10-year-old kid, knows his sports, and he's very he's very adamant, and he's very entrenched in what he believes, and his favorite team is Pittsburgh Steelers and football, like his dad. And he taught me this game, which I'm going to have to do on YouTube with one of you guys as a collaboration. And it's Would You Rather, and that's how he put it. And he just imagine this 10-year-old kid with all kinds of personality said, "Okay, Chris, would you rather have Russell Wilson as your starting quarterback or Patrick Mahomes?" And he had an argument for each side, and we got stats out to try to prove the other one wrong. And we could have spent hours and hours. And so I'm going to send him some baseball cards, and especially some Pittsburgh Steelers football cards. And listen, it was just fun getting getting to visit with him. So I want to give him a huge shout out. Now, while I was there, while we went to Red River Gorge in a cabin, had no service on anything. But what I do all the time is I bring my little white box, and I make a little white box, and what I do is I put cards in it, and I decide, what cards I'm going to get sent off to grade, what cards I'm going to send off to grade, so I can put in my inventory what cards belong in the player runs that I'm doing. And I wanted to show you some cards here so I could have some evidence, because I'm sending these cards off to be graded. But this particular player is on the wheel on Showcase Showdown with baseball collector Mike Moynihan. We have a nice friendly competition. If you haven't watched it, you got to go over there and watch it. But basically, I want to show him and show you that I have proof that I'm sending these cards off. So the cards I picked out of my little white box, I need 6. Oh, I needed 8 Steve Carlton cards. But I'm sending these 6 off to get graded. And I hope they get back before his name gets chosen. But as I was there, going through my white boxes, I put 3 25 card lots off to send off to SGC. Now, while I was there was cards coming back to me in the mail, and this was one of the cards that I got back, and that was waiting for me when I got back. And the other one is this 1970 Steve Carlton. Now, these 2 cards are waiting for me. Now, his name has not been chosen on the wheel yet, and I hope it stays away from me until I get all those cards back. So I'm risking it. But this card was waiting for me when I got back. In 1959, Eddie Matthews, that I got off of eBay. And luckily, his name was chosen, but we had not done the Eddie Matthews run yet. So now I'll have it to do the run. Now, guys, also another big thing that's on the list I mentioned earlier is Strongsville, Ohio. Baseball card show is coming up in less than a week. It's going to be here quick, and I can't wait. There's going to be 45 or more YouTubers that are going to be there, closer to 50. It'll be 50 YouTubers by the time we're done. Now, we do have a place to hang out at Best Western in a little banquet room there. And it's supposed to seat about 50 people, so it's going to be crowded. But we're going to have a good time because it's connected to the bar and that kind of stuff. Now, if you right now there's no food. Now, I could order food. I could order some pizza there. They have this stuff called sheet pizza. And I don't know what that is. It sounds terrible to me. But if that's something that you guys think you might want, I could order some sheet pizza and have it waiting for us. Or maybe we can order some stuff out. But give me some of your thoughts. You can message me if you have my number. Put a little message down here. But listen, Strongsville, Ohio is going to be a vintage card show. There's going to be just as many of us YouTubers there, or people that watch this, as there are dealers. So it's going to be, we're going to see each other. I'm going to be there Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday. And I'm coming back Sunday. And I'm bringing 2 friends from Missouri. My friend Brent, who you can find, if you watch the Basement Find with Baseball Collector, you'll see Brent in that helping. And then I'm bringing my friend Tom. And we are looking forward to it. Going to discuss just baseball stuff all the way to and from Strongsville. And can't wait to see everybody there. Can't wait to see what kind of cards you guys pick up. And if you guys go, if you're not a YouTuber and you go, just know you're invited to that get together as well. And guys, I got a lot of fun stuff going on right now. It's great. It was great going on vacation. Great taking my mom. Great seeing family and that kind of stuff. And again, I want a special shout out to my buddy Cam. Keep the faith, but I'm going to root for the Steelers except when they play the Chiefs. And guys, remember, it's just a hobby. Collect what you like.